People always talk about the same few characters that apparently are unbeatable in the pre-time skip era or even right now in the stages of the late game of One Piece we are currently in. Just think about early we had the Logia users, then we always said Yonkos are unbeatable, how are you supposed to beat someone like Kaido? Then there's Garp, who we still don't know how powerful he really is, Sengoku, all of the admirals, even though there's a discussion that admirals are weaker than Yonkos, but that's a thing for a different video, I guess. And there are so many characters where we don't know how powerful they really are. Just think about Dragon once again. But there is one insanely overpowered character in the pre-time skip part of One Piece that doesn't get the same amount of love as all these other people I just talked about. And let me tell you, this beautiful woman deserves all the love in the series. Your waifu is Robin? Oh, yours is Nami? Oh, and I personally really love Tashigi? Well, all of our opinions are stupid, because there is only one woman that is really the most beautiful woman in the world and the topic of this video. So, welcome to this One Piece discussion where we are going to talk about a monster that not many people have inside of their view when they think about One Piece. And obviously at first I'm only going to talk about pre-time skip era stuff, but even now post-time skip, I think she is really powerful if she has trained a lot and potentially awakened. But that's something we're going to talk about in the later parts of the video. For now, let's get into it. Even our boy Kobe has some experience with this woman, but he always was too focused on becoming a great marine to chase after his beauty. I mean, he was with her for a long time, I would assume, but he didn't really enjoy this time. So, who am I talking about? What do you think? Why don't you guess in the comments down below, and if you were right, your favorite One Piece waifu or husbando will come to your house in a few minutes. I'll give you some time. Well, if you said Boa Hancock, you are wrong, because the most beautiful woman in the entirety of One Piece is Alvida, and I will not allow anyone saying something else. I mean, I hinted on this heavily with the Kobe part, but Kobe has probably also spent some time with people like Tashigi, Hina, Tsuru, this pink bunny girl from the Marines, and all these other pretty looking Marines who are basically just recolors of each other. So, Iron Mace Alvida is a character not many talk about, especially after the events in chapter 1056. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it was insane. Maybe I'll actually do videos about new chapters, just sharing my opinions and first impressions. But Mondays already have what if scenarios, and Thursdays are all the other One Piece videos I just randomly want to do. Maybe it's time for a third video, but no promises. I mean, doing 2 videos a week is already it takes quite some time, and now a third video would probably be a lot more for me. Now let's continue. Anyways, Alvida is a very interesting character, and you think about it, you know, she's actually really powerful. We just never actually have her show these things. For me, this realization happened when I assigned Alvida her stats for the East Blue Saga tournament. So I guess this will also give you some idea for that video series. But don't worry, I won't spoil any fights and their outcomes. This video is just me sparking around and telling you how dangerous this woman really is. Alvida is the first villain of the entire series, but she still remains relevant as a member of Buggy's crew and now of the Cross Guild, I think. While she still has a bit more fat around her beautiful body, she wasn't very strong. I can tell you that with certainty, 100%. In the beginning she was fodder, she couldn't do much. However, one thing changed her life completely. Just like her captain, the Star Clown or Genius Jester, Buggy D Clown, Alvida has incredible luck. Just thinking about how the alliance with Buggy started, and now that she was like the first commander or in an alliance with someone of the Warlords of the Sea that was already big, now a member of the Yonkos crew basically, and then of this Cross Guild stuff, she has so much luck, and without Buggy she wouldn't be in the same space. But even without Buggy, she was extremely lucky, and that has shown how strong she can become. Just think about it. After Luffy sent her flying, Not only did Alvida get very interested in Luffy, similar to another woman who claims to be the most beautiful in the world, she also found devil fruits. In the East Blue, or let's say in the beginning of the series, devil fruits were still made out to be these almost mythical things. They are so rare that many people don't even know if they actually exist, which in itself is pretty weird if you think about it a bit more, because there are so many marines that use devil fruit. It's not like they are a secret by the world government or something. Even in the East Blue we saw Buggy, Smoker, Luffy, and later Alvida as well. It just tickles my interest that Oda at first wanted to make devil fruits that really rare thing, but later on it became the norm for piracy and stronger people. I mean, yes, if you think about it, with the entire population of the world, there are still only quite few devil fruit users. But if devil fruit users are the Yonkos, the admirals, and all the many vice admirals, I feel like they wouldn't be talked about like mythical stuff. They would be more normal in the world and people would know about them at least. I mean, yes, it makes sense. Devil fruits are really rare. Currently we know of 192 devil fruits. So 192 devil fruits. And if we assume that the One Piece world is bigger than ours, which it very well might be, that would mean probably that the world has over 10 billion people on this planet. Of these 10 billion people, only around 200 have devil fruits. That is still very rare. It's just that the characters we personally meet are really powerful, and having a devil fruit gives them a bigger chance to grow strong. But let's get back to the topic at hand. Alvida was so lucky to find a devil fruit in the East Blue, and it wasn't just any random normal Zoan, even though I still want to think about a character that gets something like an ant Zoan or something. So, it was a Paramecia devil fruit that many underestimate because Paramecias are like these, if it doesn't fit into Logia or Zoan, just throw it into Paramecia. The devil fruit that Alvida found is the Super no Mi. It's a devil fruit that makes the user's body smooth and slippery, and as we could see with Alvida, if one is overweight or just has fat on their body, that excess fat will just slip off, making the user very slim and beautiful again. Or beautiful again, because Alvida always thought she was beautiful. I feel like Alvida always saw herself like she now looks with the devil fruit, even when she was still a bit more overweight. Please tell me you wouldn't bite into this fruit. I mean, many people would just eat any devil fruit if they found one in our world, but this fruit, even if it wasn't a devil fruit, I would be interested in how it tastes. We know the design of many fruits, and when I first saw some, I just thought, nah, I would not bite into that, if I didn't know that it was actually a devil fruit. I don't know if you know the design of Kid's devil fruit, but that one looks very dangerous. Or Crocodile's devil fruit is literally just a cactus. But the Super no Mi looks so delicious and is actually so powerful that I wouldn't hesitate to take a bite. This fruit makes the user immune to damage caused by any weapon, projectiles, hand-to-hand combat, and other hazards coming from solid objects. Everything will just slip off the smooth body of the user without leaving as much as a scratch on that beautiful body. Yes, you heard me correct. Basically, every single attack just slides off the user of the Super no Mi. In an era without Haki, which is the pre-time skip era, this is basically the same as being a Logia user. You gotta love the element of smoothness. That's why, when you think about it, the only losses we saw Alvida take after she entered Devil Fruit, well, there was only one, so it was only against Smoker in Loketown, and her other loss was before she got to the Devil Fruit against Luffy. We only saw Alvida take 2 losses so far, as I think, which is... No, I mean, she has a 100% loss record, but 2 fights against the main character and the Logia user pre-time skip? Hey, you know, she struggled against these people, but it's fair. Plus, can her fight against Smoker actually be considered a battle? I mean, she only wanted to try to run away because they wanted to chase after Luffy. Well, I don't know, it's a matter for another discussion. I mean, you can tell me if you think her fight or her running away from Smoker is actually a loss for her, or if that doesn't count. Then Alvida is only her loss against Luffy pre-eating Devil Fruit. And we have never seen her lose after she ate her Devil Fruit. Anyways, Alvida doesn't have a good win-loss ratio, but that's because she fought against Luffy, the protagonist of the story, and Smoker, who was always planned to be really strong at the point of his introduction, being the first Logia and all the other stuff. but any other character that is not a Logia user, a Haki user, or a very highly skilled swordsman is unable to even hurt Alvida. Her slippery powers, however, are not only limited to her body, otherwise One Piece would be 18 plus and Alvida would be always naked. Her powers also extend to her whatever items or clothing are on her body. That's already her basic powers. Now think about the potential of her abilities. Oh, and did I tell you that even with the fat slipping off the body of the user, they don't lose any of their strength from that? Alvida can still lift her big iron mace without any problems after becoming this skinny. Like I said, the only thing able to stop Alvida are things without a physical body, like the elements of a Logia fruit, because Smoker for example was able to grapple and push Alvida on the ground with the help of a smoke. I mean, he also had his sea-tipped Jite, his weapon, sea stone tipped, but he didn't use that I think. Nowadays we have a bit more of a problem for Alvida, with Haki users that make her a bit more defenseless. But against weaker enemies, she's still unbeatable. Other characters pre-time skip that could be a bit dangerous for Alvida would probably be Mihawk and Vistais for an example, because these two swordsmen are so highly advanced that they can shoot off beam-like attacks with their sword attacks, which is quite Dragon Ball-esque if you ask me. I personally believe this attack doesn't have a physical form. I know it's made from his sword, but the swords are not part of the attack. It's only like the pressure, the wind pressure or something of the swing from the sword, so it's not really a physical thing. So it wouldn't just slide off Alvida's body like pebbles or swords themselves. But that's only the case for a normal user. Let's get into a theoretical part of this video. The future of Alvida could be insane. And that's why now I'm going to talk to you about the awakening of the Sube Sube no Mi. As I said before, the Sube Sube no Mi makes the user's body all smooth and slippery, basically immune against any attack from something with a solid form unless it's covered in Haki or it comes from a swordsman that can make these beam attacks. Now think about it. Has there been another fruit that could make things smooth? If you answered yes, you are right. Back in Ini's lobby, Khalifa ate the soap fruit, or in Japanese the Awa Awa no Mi. In my opinion, Khalifa's devil fruit is just a lesser version of Alvida's devil fruit. Khalifa could clean off a lot of things from her enemy, not just dirt, but also someone's power. So after washing them with her soap bubbles, I quote from the One Piece wiki, she leaves them in a clean and shiny state that is extremely smooth. Smooth being the keyword here, as Alvida's fruit is a smooth fruit. So when Alvida awakens her fruit, I believe she can smoothen a lot more than just herself. We saw multiple types of awakenings for Paramecia devil fruits already. First there was Doflamingo, who could change his surroundings to strings. If we take this to Alvida, it would mean that she can make everything around her smooth and slippery, making the ground unstable and harder to move around for enemies. Another awakening for example was Kids, which we saw on Wano. So instead of just applying his magnetism to himself, he could also apply this ability to other people. If that would be the case, Alvida could make other people smooth. And that would result in them having an instantaneous change, and that would result them in having an instant change in their body type, or just make them slip and fall to the ground because they are not used to this slippery feeling. It could also be used as a good support ability if it lasts forever and not just for a certain time span. If Alvida makes every member of the Buggy Pirates smooth, or now just think of a smooth Mihawk or Crocodile, this will increase their defense and movement abilities by a lot. But let's go back to the Khalifa thing for a second. When she washes someone with her soap, they could just wash it off with water, or the bubbles get blown away by a strong wind, before they can wash out the strength of the target. In Alvida's case, this wouldn't be the case, as she is not washing the enemies, she is literally just smoothing them. And just like Alvida herself lost her fat when she first ate her devil fruit, she could make other characters lose their body fat or maybe some other concepts. Some of my ideas are, what if Alvida uses her smoothing abilities on someone old? Can she make them smooth and young again? What if she removes all the fat from someone like Big Mom or Blackbeard? They would remain as strong as they are, but they would be a way smaller target and way more mobile. I mean, Big Mom would look like she did back with Rocks and all of the other people, but she would still be as strong as she is currently. And I don't know about Blackbeard, I just want to see how he looks when he's thin. And that's only talking about fat and wrinkles. Alvida would be a really great beautician. Think of other things like making weapons smooth and thus less dangerous, or smoothing away other concepts like strength, speed, willpower, or other things. We often say a devil fruit is only as good as the user. If the user is not creative, even a godlike devil fruit could be garbage. So who is to say that everything I just said wouldn't work? Why don't you also get a bit crazy in the comments and tell me what you think could be made smoother and used in a battle between top tier characters in One Piece? One thing can be said for sure. Don't underestimate Alvida, or her devil fruit to be more specific. If she actually has advanced armament haki, or maybe even conqueror's haki, she will be no doubt become a commander or maybe even a Yonko level threat, even though Alvida is a bit of a joke at the moment. Some characters and their powers just get forgotten because they are less relevant, or people think about their favorite characters and they currently shown strongest characters. But we all know that some characters that have been shown in the earliest parts of One Piece will return and will have grown to levels we would have never imagined. I personally can't wait for my boy Kobe and my Tashigi to return and show their new strength. But that's all from me today. And all that is left to be said is stay healthy, stay happy, and most importantly, stay cultured. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you consider clicking on that subscribe button to not miss any further videos, because I have a lot planned that will be fun to watch. This has been Pyro Primer, and we will see each other again in the next video. Until then, take care. Pyro out.